Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on the MK4 Golf R32 DSG conversion. Now in this video I am hoping to get this car MOT'd and on the road. If you watched the last video you'll know that we're not actually that far off now. In the last video we worked on the exterior of the car, we fitted the side skirts, tidied a few things up, we tidied a lot of stuff up in the engine bay as well, so I'm quite happy with what's going on with the car. There's a few bits missing in the engine bay but nothing crazy, nothing that should see it fail in MOT, I'm hoping. But the interior is where we are with this car right now. So if we go to the interior, I'll show you exactly what we need to do. So it's not actually too crazy. I mean, all we need to do really is tidy up the wiring from where I've obviously converted it to DSG. We had to wire the shifter in and all that stuff. So everything is just all over the place because I was testing out wires and trying to find out where things go. So it's just a case of tidying all this up, making it nice and neat and safe most of all. Getting the dashboard back in. We need to change this shifter as well because this is from a TT, not a MK4 obviously. I have actually managed to find a genuine MK4 DSG center selector thing. I don't even know what you call it, like a shifter center console thing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Not only have I found one, it's brand spanking new, along with the aluminium trim, so it all matches the center console and the door pulls and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm buzzing. Let me show you right now. Here it all is. Look at all of this, all brand new as well. There is still a little piece missing, which I need to track down, but it's not going to stop us being able to fit all this. I'm a little bit worried because I don't actually know how it all goes together, so it is going to be a little bit of trial and error while trying not to break anything. But this is the little section I was on about that is completely different to, well actually, is it different? Yeah, it's different. Completely different to the TT one. So as you can see, it's like square. This one's round. This actually all just pop off, but even with all this off, it's still completely different. Like this one's got a bit of a groove on it. This one's kind of straight. So yeah, I mean, it's not completely different, but it is very different. Does that even make sense? I don't know, I'm just waffling. I'm excited. Like I said, we've got the aluminium trim surround, brand spanking new, still got the plastic on it. We've got the aluminium shifter that goes underneath there. Got the actual DSG, look at that. Oh, I'm so, you don't understand how happy I am right now. This is like heaven. We've got a DSG little thing there that goes underneath there. And yeah, just more other parts. I'm really happy with this find, as I've said about 100 times. The main reason I'm so happy about all that is because a lot of it is now obsolete. I have got, I don't know if you could see it then. Well, you might be able to see there's a little box over, well, medium-sized box right there. And there's another surprise in there, but we need to get the dash in and all that good stuff before I show you that. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is tidy up the wiring, get the dashboard in, and then we'll fit the other bits afterwards, because the last thing I want to do is get them damaged while trying to fit the dashboard in. So let's sort the wiring out, let's get the dashboard in, and then we'll go from there. Right, so a few days have actually passed since recording all of that, and I've been editing the video and realised that the microphone wasn't plugged in. So I've got about another 40 minutes worth of footage, talking, discussing things wrong with the car, and realised that the microphone was not plugged in properly. I am absolutely gutted. So I've come back down to film what I've already filmed, but I can't film it properly because I've already done it. So yeah, that's annoying. Anyway, I probably saved you lot about 10 minutes worth of talking nonsense. So yeah, we've got the dashboard in, we've got all the interior in. What I've done seats wise is I've had to nick the seats out of the green R32, which I weren't happy about, but I'm not paying £1,000 for a pair, well, set of battered R32 seats. People are asking crazy money for them at the moment. I'm used to paying like £500–600. I would pay £1,000 for a mint set, but the ones that people are asking money, that type of money for at the moment, are battered and they need a retrim. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to borrow the seats out the green R32. Once the green R32 is done, obviously I'll put them back in, or I might even buy some different seats for the green R32. I'm not too sure yet, but either way, this car has now got a pretty much complete interior. So let's spin the camera around and show you that. And there we go, look at that. Dashboard's in, steering wheel's in. We've left the plastic, I keep saying we, I'm the only one down here. I've left all this plastic stuff off, all here, because I'm gonna be fitting cruise control. I've already fitted the cruise control stalk, but I need to fit the loom in. I also want to fit this little thing here, which is the lockout for the gear shifter. So basically, once that's connected, you won't be able to start the car and you won't be able to remove your key out of the lock barrel unless the gear shifter is in park. I think that's a real good feature, so I'm going to connect that up, but in order to do that I need to change the barrel. So I've left all that off because I know I'm going to be messing about and there's no point in putting it on. Now you might see I've actually fitted the TT knob again. My reason for that is because I'm going to be in and out of this car trying to fix problems, and I don't want to damage the R32 one that I've got because it is quite rare. It's quite expensive and just doesn't make sense damaging it. Of course, we've got the rear seats fitted as well. We've got the rear door cards, all the genuine alu trim fitted on the doors as well. Got the genuine alu trim on the door pulls, the center console, the ashtray. All this stuff I had to get because the 5-door stuff is obviously different from the 3-door. Remember, this car was a shell, so everything you see here I've had to buy and build the car up. Now I mentioned earlier that I have got another thing for this car that I'm really buzzing about, and it is a genuine brand new R32 DSG steering wheel. Brand new, genuine. Let me show you. Are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, look at that, still got the plastics on it. So, like I said, this is a genuine R32. Look at that, even Hugo's come to have a look. Genuine R32 DSG steering wheel. Look at that, brand spankers. So the paddles are actually brushed aluminium to match all that stuff I just showed you. The R32 stuff. It also matches this as well, which goes around the gear selector. I've kept that off for the same reason I've kept the gear knob off. I don't want to damage it. There's no point in putting it on just yet. Actually, I can't even put it on yet because there's something missing. There's a bit of plastic missing that lets you clip this in, so that's another reason I've kept it off as well. And just like with everything else, I'm going to keep the steering wheel off as well because there's still a lot of work to do with this car, and I'd be really gutted if I damaged it or got loads of oil on it or anything like that. So, you know, the Audi one isn't actually that far off the same like size as the R32 one, so I'm just going to keep that on for now. I'm probably going to find like a sticker to hide the Audi badge, but yeah, I'm not really bothered about stuff like that. I mean, the car is in absolute state anyway. Now obviously in this video I wanted to get this car MOT'd, and that meant getting all the lights off the dash. So I got the car warmed up, took it out around the unit, well, around the yard, plugged VAGCOM in and read all the codes. Now there's a lot of codes. There's a lot of codes. Most of them come back as well. I cleared loads and most of them come back. I'll go through like the top few concerning ones for me, starting with the least. So airbag light is still on. Obviously we've got the airbags in, we've got the seats in, so there shouldn't be an airbag light on anymore. Turns out there is like a crash sensor underneath the seat. on both sides. So if you've got a side impact, this would activate and it would activate the airbags. One of those is damaged, so that means the seats that I've just put in, I've got to pull out. Well, to be fair, I've only got to pull the passenger's one out and change that little sensor. So that's quite minor, but annoying nonetheless. Another fault we've got, lambda sensor. Now it's the lambda sensor. There's 4 lambda sensors on the R32. There's 2 in the manifold and then there's 2 in the cat. The 2 in the cat are not that important, but the 2 in the manifold are. And of course, it's the one in the manifold that isn't working. I think it's on the passenger side. I need to double check that, but they are an absolute pain to get to. I'm going to look underneath the car and keep my fingers crossed and just hope that it's the wiring. Maybe I've run over the plug by accident because the wires were dangling down at one point while I was taking it around the yard. So, you know, that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to take the sensor out of the manifold and change that. I have got a few anyway. But yeah, that's annoying and it's a massive inconvenience. Another very, very annoying fault is the steering rack. Now, while taking it around the yard, I did notice that the steering was really heavy. And I did a full lock and realized that I think someone's replaced the steering rack in the past and changed it. They must have changed it for a stock one. The R32 has a quick rack, which basically, as I said, it's a quick rack, so it's got less turns than a stock one. I think it's got like 2.2.5 or something like that, whereas the TT one's got a 2.5, and then the stock one, I'm not too sure what the turning angle is on the stock one, but it's a lot more. So that's very annoying and very inconvenient because I'm gonna have to change that steering rack, which is an absolute pain, and it's very messy because obviously you've got the power steering fluid and stuff like that. That has actually brought a fault up as well because it's recognized that it's got the wrong rack in. It's also caused me to break the ribbon in the squib thing, which is on the steering wheel or behind the steering wheel. So basically when you full lock, it's gone past where it should be and snapped. They must be different between the R32 and between the stock one. So yeah, I've snapped that. That's annoying, and yeah, changing the rack is going to be an absolute pain. I'm going to have to drop the subframe, take the steering rack off. I'm going to have to undo the, what are they called now? Track rod ends. It's just a faff, but you know, it is what it is. Now, like I said, there's loads of problems from the Haldex to just loads of problems. Now, the biggest problem that I'm facing, or the biggest problem that I've noticed, is the cam shaft sensor. That isn't reading. Now, it could just be the sensor, which I highly doubt. If it's not the sensor, there's a high possibility that the chains are stretched. Now, I did take the readings from VCDS, Vadcom, and one was measuring -7, which is quite bad, and the other one wasn't reading. Now, it might not have been reading because the sensor's broken, or it might not be reading because it's just, the reading's just too far out. -7 is quite bad. I mean, people still do drive on -7. I've had an R32 that's on -8 and was still driving okay. I have noticed a lot of chain noise, chain rattle in the engine bay, something I noticed quite early on, to be honest. Something that I stupidly didn't check when the engine was in the TT. I'm not too sure why I didn't check that. This is like, that problem is like one of the main reasons the TT 3.2 is so cheap. Like, I was looking again today and they're still around £2,000. Like, you can get a 3.2 V6 Audi TT for £2,000, and that's because the cost of the chains replacement is around £2,000. It's a lot. It's very, very labor intensive. The chains themselves are not actually that expensive. So you replace the chains, you replace the tensioners. While the gearbox is off, a lot of people change the clutch as well. I'm not too sure how that would work with the DSG. I'm not too sure if people change the flywheel when doing that, or the clutch pack, or whatever it may be. But yeah, that is the worst news that I could have come across, to be completely honest with you. You know, I was getting a bit ahead of myself putting the engine in, when in fact I probably should have, while the engine was out, sent the engine off and had the chains done. I've never personally done chains before. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and it does look relatively easy, but I'd rather pay someone else to do it that knows what they're doing. They get the timing right, and then I don't have to worry about putting the engine in and it not being right. So I'm really, really gutted. I'm pretty certain it's going to be that. However, I am going to change the sensor because I've obviously got a couple of R32s here. So I'm going to nick one of the sensors of one of these cars, put it on this car, and fingers crossed that issue goes away. But I'm not holding my breath. So let's go and do that. I'm going to start with that and then work my way through all the other problems. So let's crack on. So it is actually the inlet side. So if we just take the engine cover off, they are quite easy to get to be fair. You've got your inlet manifold one there, and then you've got your exhaust one. And sorry, it's the exhaust one that's the problem. So that's going to be that side, I'm assuming, with the exhaust being that side and then the inlet manifold being that side. So I'm going to go and swap this sensor out for one on my other car, and then fingers crossed the problem goes away. I'm not going to bore you with a time lapse or anything. I'm literally just going to jump to it. I'm going to read the codes and hopefully it's gone away. All right, so sensor has been changed. I've got VAGCON open. We're going to check if that sensor's worked. Just to give you a bit of a sneak preview, this is the state of the clocks. There's lights everywhere. So we've got the traction control on, which I'm guessing is to do with the Haldex. We've got the immobilizer on because the immo is off in the ECU. So we need to send the clocks in immobilizer and the key off to be matched. We've got the airbag light on for the fault that I told you earlier. We've got a brake pad wear sensor. I've got a sensor on order. EPC, which I'm assuming is to do with the steering rack not being the correct one. And yeah, just loads and loads and loads of faults. So obviously this car is not going to get through an MOT looking like that. Anyway, back to the scan. So like I said, we've got VAGCON open, or VCDS, whatever you want to call it. We're going to select a module. I'm not going to bother doing a full scan because I already know there is a lot of problems. Hopefully it reads itself and finds the car. Yes, it has. And then we will go to fault codes. And there we go, like I said. So we've got the Lambda sensor fault that I was talking about earlier. So heating circuit. And then we've got another one here, which is on the same sensor, which is internal resistance too high. Camshaft position sensor is the fault that we kind of want to get rid of. Now, I'm assuming that's still there because I didn't clear them the last time. What I'm going to do is start the car up, let it run for a second. No, sorry, what I'm actually going to do, what am I on about? I'm going to clear the codes. So we'll clear the codes, that's what I need to do. So yeah, fault codes are gone. Let's done, go back, close this off, start the car. Is it in neutral? Yes, it is. Right, that's making some weird noise now. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? I hope you can hear that and someone can tell me what the hell that is. What is that? Oh, it's gone away now. That was very, very weird. That's strange. So that's never happened before. That's only happened now that I've changed the sensor. So let's go back and read the code, see if there's any codes on it. So we're going to go back to engine. In fact, can I turn this off? I'm going to anyway. Engine. I think I might have crashed it because I turned it off. Oh, there we go. Fault codes. Right, so they've come back. They've all come back. Yeah, so like I said, they've come back. Camshaft. Why do I keep saying camshaft? Camshaft position sensor. Implausible signal. Right, okay. You know what I'm going to do? Now that there's a new sensor in there, I'm going to measure the blocks. Now I think you have to let the car warm up to do this. I'm not an expert. My phone's ringing, typical. Right, so yeah, I think the car might have to be on to do this, but we'll see. So it's 207 and 208. There we go, go. Right, okay. So no, it doesn't have to be, oh, it's -8. I'm sure that was -7. before. I think I took a picture, I might have been wrong. So 208 is a -8, which is really, really bad. So I'm guessing the chains have definitely stretched, and I can't get a reading from 207. Let's try it again. 207, go. So yeah, no reading. Now of course there is a possibility that that sensor is faulty as well. Highly unlikely, but I think because I've got another R32 here, I'm literally going to check that one as well. So I'm going to take the sensor off my twin turbo R32, put it on this one, and see if that fault comes back. But yeah, I think the chains need doing, which I'm really annoyed about. However, from looking at the codes, it looks like the engine management light is actually on because of the lambda sensor. Now, if we can change the lambda sensor and we don't get a light on the dash, we could at least get it through an MOT. Of course, we need to sort all the other stuff off. I'd have to change the steering rack. But if I can avoid having to change get the chains done before getting through an MOT, I would rather do that. Now it sounds stupid and you're probably thinking, Anton, why don't you just get the chains done? Well, it's £2,000. This was actually meant to be a bit of a budget build. The TT itself was only £2,000, and that does actually bring me to question whether the TT was actually sold because the chains were stretched. Now I can't actually remember there being an engine light on the TT. There probably was, because it was sold as needing some work doing, so it probably was, it probably did have a light on. But you know, did they get it checked, and did they see that the chains, were they told that the chains need doing? And they said, yeah, it's going to cost you £2,000. And I'm thinking, well, the car's only worth £2,000. Is it worth me getting the done? No, I'm going to sell it, because that car was rough. The brakes were done for, the drive shafts were no good, as you've seen with me trying to replace the drive shafts on this car, because obviously it was the TT one originally. You know, so I am questioning whether they actually knew that. But listen, I'm not bothered. I'm not holding any animosity towards anyone. It is what it is. It literally said in the description that the car needed some work. I bought it, broke it for parts, and here we are. If the chains need doing, the chains need doing. It is what it is. I can't be spending loads of money on fancy parts like the DSG steering wheel and the gear knob and stuff like that, and then cutting corners when it comes to the basic maintenance at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to change that sensor right now, and then we're going to cut back and I'll see if the code still appears. Wish me luck. So that's a new sensor in. Well, not new, but I know this sensor definitely works because that car has just been for mapping and there was no fault shown with that sensor. So yeah, the sensor's in, still can't read it, and I've still got the same fault code as well. So yeah, I'm just assuming that the chains are well out of tolerance and a reading cannot be picked up. So yeah, absolutely gutted. I think what I'm going to do now is, since the car's running, I'm going to chuck it on the ramp, put it in the air and see if any of the connections are broke on the lambda sensors. I'm hoping that is the problem. However, I have just had a little bit of a look down the back, and it does look like a bit of a pain to get to, but not impossible to get from the top. I literally thought it would be impossible to get to. So it's not that bad, but it is a massive inconvenience. But let's get it on the ramp, let's get underneath it and check those sensor plugs. Fingers crossed. All right, so car's up in the air, and the sensors that we are looking, well, the plugs that we're looking at for the sensors are located in this box here. Hopefully you can see it. If not, I'm just going to cut all of this out and skip to the results. So yeah, just two 10mm nuts on this will reveal this little box. Now, I don't know if you can see there, but this one is already a little bit burnt. Now, I do remember not having this box on at one point and driving the car around, and yeah, I remember the plug dragging along the floor. Now, doesn't look like there's an issue to me, so it's these two that we're looking for. So these two bigger ones are for the lambda sensors in the manifold, and the two smaller ones are for the ones that are in the catalytic converter. And that burnt one is actually, it looks like it's a sensor for the one in the cat. So yeah, even if that was broken, it's not broken. That makes sense. So yeah, they look actually all right to me. I can't see any visible damage on them at all. Can't actually remember which plug it is, but it's only one side showing the fault. So they run up here, and then, like I said, they go into the manifold. You might just be able to see one right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's one right there, and that's why I thought it was going to be a pain. I thought I was going to have to try and get them from there, but it turns out you can get them from the top. So let's go and have a little look. So I've asked the good people of Facebook on the R32 forum which sensor it was, because like I said, there's two in the manifolds, and apparently it is the driver's side, which is obviously on this side. Now again, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it's basically down there. Can you see it? You might just be able to make it out. So there's one, they're basically right next to each other. So I think if I remove all this here, I could probably get a spanner on it, get it removed. It's going to be very, very tight. I don't know actually. It's going to be difficult. Look, there's no point in just looking at it. I might as well just give it a try. And again, I'm not going to time lapse it and bore you. I'm literally going to get stuck in, probably get my hands all scratched up, but that is the nature of doing this sort of stuff. So again, wish me luck. Let's get this sensor off. Right, I'm just going to use my phone to film this. I've just swapped the lambda sensor over. Fingers crossed it works. It took ages to do, so hence why I've just grabbed my phone instead of setting the camera up again. Right, so we need to go into engine. This comes up sometimes. Oh, you know why? Duh. That's how tired I am. Right. Would help if I had that in. Okay, we've got that in now. I can't believe I've just done that. Right, engine. Fault codes. Clear codes. Yes. Done. Go back. Let's start the car and see. Actually, let's turn the key off. Put it back on. Shouldn't be an engine management light on. Right, I'm using my phone again because, listen, I've just had an absolute ordeal. It's 10 o'clock at night. I came down here to do the live draw because someone's about to win this TT RS that's in front of me, or £30,000. So I wasn't even meant to be touching this car, but it was doing my head in. So anyway, I set about changing the sensor in the manifold. Started with the driver's side in the manifold. Changed it, still had a fault code. I was thinking, right, either the sensor I've put in, even though it's brand new, is faulty, or I've just got the wrong one. Maybe the person that gave me the information was wrong, or I've read it wrong, I don't know. So anyway, I've changed the sensor. Oh, by the way, I've cut that sensor off, by the way. So the old sensor, cut it off, put a new one in, still got the same fault. So then I've changed the passenger side manifold lambda sensor. Changed it. That one wasn't too bad, to be fair. But anyway, changed it. Still got a fault code. Scratching my head now. The only thing I could say is the sensor that I'd put in the passenger side wasn't brand new. So, you know, maybe that was an issue. Anyway, scratching my head. Read the codes, and it came up with a new code. It was a lambda sensor again, but it said, I can't remember what it said. It said post cat or something like that. Different code. So I was thinking, hey, hold on. I think I've read this wrong. Anyway, long story short, I've changed the lambda sensor in the catalytic converter on the driver's side. And guess what? No engine light, no fault code. The fault code has gone. The only fault code I've got now in regards to the engine is that camshaft position sensor, which we all know, it's probably the chains, but I have got no engine light on. Let me show you. Oh, I don't know if you saw the lights flashing just then. That was another headache. So I don't actually have a key fob, like the buttons for this car. I can't even remember, I don't know what's happened to it. I've literally just got the key itself. And for some reason, after all this time working on the car, the alarm decided to go off. I couldn't shut it up. It was absolutely loud. I unplugged it. It was still going off. I literally had to take the alarm siren out of this car, put it in the green R32, put a battery to the green R32, start that up, turn it off, lock it, for that siren to shut up. I can't even tell you how much of a headache I've got, how stressed this has been. But yeah, let me show you anyway. So the car's a little bit in the ground because I'm sick of going up and down. We've got the indicators flashing because the alarm keeps going off. So yeah, if we go into engine now, oh wow, what a night, what a night. Go into engine, go into fault codes, and look at that. Just the one code. And not only that, if we turn the ignition on, turn the engine on, sorry. Look at that, did you see that? The engine management light has gone off. Absolutely buzzing with that. The other light's, the other light's gone off as well, the ESP, whatever it was. So I don't know if they were related or what, but. So yeah, we might actually get this through an MOT. After all, obviously you can't get a car MOT'd with an engine management light on. We need to work on the traction light. Like I said, I think that is to do with the Haldex. So while the car's on the ramp, I am actually going to change the controller, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. For you, that's going to be in the next clip, but for me, it's going to be tomorrow. But look at the lights flashing, man. I can't even believe that. So I need to sort out a key fob for that because that's going to do my head in. And but yeah, at least we've got one code off. Yeah, we still need to get the chains done, but like I said, if we can get this through an MOT, get some miles on it, all that good stuff, then I'll be a bit happier, and then I'll be more, once I enjoy it, once I get to enjoy the car, I won't mind getting the chains done as much. I don't want to get the chains done now because I haven't had a chance to enjoy the car. Once I'm out in it and I've got that smile on my face for driving an R32 again, I'm not going to be bothered. I'll get the chains done. But for now, we need to get this on the road. So anyway, next clip. Right, okay, it's now the next day and I'm still using my phone, unfortunately, because I'm on daddy duties today. So I'm not actually meant to be down here, but I wanted to get this Haldex controller changed while the car was in the air. And I've actually noticed a few things while underneath the car with a bit more of a fresher head. So first things first, I've changed the Haldex controller, and the oil that came out of the Haldex was absolutely black. So that's going to need changing. That actually could be the reason for the noise that we're getting. Another thing I noticed is this drop link is bent, so that's going to need changing. I need to attach that for the headlight adjustment, which I already knew about anyway. But the biggest thing that I've noticed underneath here is the prop shaft has come out and damaged. So let me try and get a light on this so you can see. Oh, my light's dead, but you can see there, it's popped out. So there's a bolt missing. This is damaged. And there's another bolt missing there. And the whole thing has actually come out and is loose. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do about that. I have got another prop, so I might have to just change the whole thing, or I might be able to just change I might be able to just change this donut for another one. But yeah, so just more stuff that needs changing and fixing. You know, it is what it is, I guess. Obviously, I'm annoyed, and this bolt that's left in is actually bent as well. It's either bent or snapped off, but it's definitely not straight anymore. Don't know if you can see that, but right, fast forward a few hours, a little bit of progress has been made. We have managed to get that section removed. Here it is on the floor. What a mess it is. The bolt actually snapped off. Luckily, I was able to get that little section out of here. It was stuck in the diff side. It doesn't look like I've damaged any of the threads, so that's a bonus. This thing here is absolutely, I don't even know what you'd say, mashed, mangled, battered. That goes in this end of the prop. I don't even know if this is meant to come out, but it's come out anyway. Luckily enough, I've still got the one from the TT, so I've removed that. So we've got a fresh, well, it's not fresh, but it's not damaged, and I've pulled that out as well. Like I said, I don't think these are actually meant to come out because I had to cut this out and I've bent it a little bit. So I think in the future, I'm just gonna have to remove this section of the prop and change it. Yeah, I do actually remember why that is loose now. We had to change it because the one that was on this car originally was damaged, and we swapped half of the TT and half of that car, put them together and bolted them on. So I must have not done them up. And obviously I've took it out test driving. I've done, like, I won't call it a launch, but I've put my foot down quite quickly a few times, and obviously I've just damaged it. So it's my own doing. It's my own doing. So it is what it is. I'm going to get that part fitted, get it all bolted back up, clear the codes. Hopefully we've got no more Haldex issues. If we have, the next thing will be to change the oil in it, which we need to do anyway. I'm not going to do that. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I will do it. I'll give it a YouTube and see how hard it is. And if it's still playing up after that, then maybe it's a new rear diff. I have got a few diffs, lucky enough, but it is a pain in the backside to remove. So hopefully it's not that. But anyway, like I said, I'm just going to go and bolt all that stuff up. Fingers crossed we have no more Haldex issues. Let's go. Right, so another day has passed. I was up late last night getting everything put together. I took the car out in the yard at night and I'm still getting that problem, still getting that issue, still getting that grinding noise. So what I've gone and done is I've got a brand new filter for the Haldex, I've got brand new oil from VW, and I've got the spanner that you need to change the filter as well. I've had a quick look on YouTube and it seems quite easy. So I'm gonna go and change all of that and then we'll come back and we'll go and try it together, because I couldn't record anything last night because it was dark outside. But I'm so tired of this car. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna go and change that stuff and then we'll see what happens. Now I don't want to jinx myself, but this is going quite smoothly, to be fair. The filter was really hard to get to, but you need this special tool to get it off. Don't know if you can see it just there, and then you just literally a few turns, well I say a few turns, quite a few turns. Then to drain the oil, it's just this 5 hex here. Not much oil came out, to be fair. I've already done it, by the way, and there was barely any oil in there, so that could be the problem. The oil is really black as well. So hopefully once I put some oil in there, put a new filter on, we will solve the issue. I can't believe that's all there was. To be fair though, actually I did manage to lose some yesterday, because when I put the Haldex controller on, there's like a seal on there and it wasn't sealed properly. You're not going to be able to see it because that spanner's in the way, but yeah, we lost quite a bit of oil there. But even still, I don't think there was a lot in there. Anyway, let's crack on. Wow, I definitely spoke too soon. That was an absolute pain in the backside. Like you can literally only do like the smallest turn with that spanner thing. And then when you think you've got it off and you try and do it with your hand, anyway, it was long. I'm not too sure how much oil is meant to be in that Haldex, but it took the whole thing, so I should really check how much it takes in case I've put too much in. Anyway, it's done now. So we've got a different we've changed the Haldex controller already, as you know. I've just serviced it, so I've changed the filter, I put oil in it. If it doesn't work now, then the only other options I've really got is, do I try another Haldex controller? If that doesn't work, then it's a new diff, I think, but I'm going to give it a try. Another thing I've done, it's not going to work now, is it? It's not going to work. Typical. I did have a key fob, but it's working. What's good? There we go. It does work, honestly. I think it's because just an old battery. But anyway, we've got a key fob now, so I don't have to worry about the alarm going off, so I can put the siren thing back in. We're making progress. Right, what I'm going to do is take it out in the yard, see if the Haldex is fixed, and you're going to join me. Let's go. Moment of truth. Still got that weird noise. I think it's the throttle body, so I might have to do an alignment on that. But anyway. Oh my god. So the engine management light's back on before I even start, but I'm gonna go outside and then we'll check it, because I don't feel like smoking out my unit. Straight away, sounds were already there. God's sake. Sounds already there. We'll give it a bit of a run around anyway. Beep, 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 beep. Can't believe that. I wonder what engine management light's on. So I forgot to actually mention that last night while sorting the rest of, well, So I forgot to actually mention, while I was messing about last night doing the key fob and sorting the controller out and sorting that donut thing out, I actually had the engine light management come back on for the lambda sensor, and it was indicating that it was actually the one in the manifold this time. Now don't forget, when I changed them originally, thinking it was those anyway, I put different ones in. So I'm guessing the ones that I put in, or the one that I put in that wasn't the original, was faulty. So I swapped that round, and then the engine management light went off. But like I said, it's just come back on, so I'm gonna check what that is. Honestly, these cars, man. Right, so this time it's just the camshaft position sensor, but now it's bringing the engine management light on. It wasn't doing that before, and it didn't even say mil on before. Now it's saying mil on. So I'm gonna clear it, and we'll just see if it comes back. Maybe I'll be able to, if it doesn't come back straight away, maybe I'll be able to get it through an MOT by just clearing it, quickly getting it through an MOT, and then maybe it'll go on at a later time. But if I go back into engine after clearing it, draining, this is so draining. I've been working like a week solid on this. Right, so the fault's still there, but it hasn't brought the engine management light on this time. Right, okay, that's good-ish, I guess. It's as good as bad can be, I guess. I just thought as well, now that the Haldex isn't working, or the controller isn't working, or whatever it may be, if I change the controller again, I'm going to lose all that new oil that I've just put in. In talking of oil, let me make sure it's not leaking out, because it leaked out yesterday. Right, no leaks as of yet. I'm going to take it around the industrial estate quickly. It's starting to rain, so I'm not going to be out here too long. I'm devastated. I can hear it grinding around already, to be fair, but got it, absolutely got it. So you know what, that's actually worse than it was yesterday. So I took it out last night, and it wasn't that bad. It is a possibility that the controller that I put on was faulty as well. I don't remember checking the one that I've tried before. I have got another one I can try, like I mentioned, but you know, where do you stop? Windows don't want to work now. And I broke the door card. Okay. Why are the windows not working? What is going on today? Why are my windows not working? Today's not my day. It's not my week this week. I got the window down. I had to put the key in the door. Well, we've got an EPC light now. That wasn't on before. That was on originally, but wasn't on just when we were driving around then. That's really bad. You know what? It seems to only do it one way, I think. So if I do reverse, fall up this way. Can't really hear it. Full lock, right hand down. It seems to be making that noise now. Left hand down, full lock. Let's try that. Moving forward. Barely actually hear it, you know. Right, I don't want to get too excited, but it might be gone. Let's try a few more maneuvers. Right, let's reverse. Can't hear it. Let's go forwards the same way. Fall up. I think it might be gone. I can't hear anything that way. Right, let's go the other way. I think it's gone, you know. I hope so. Really, really hope so. Right. I'm not gonna get too excited. I'm not gonna get too excited. Now it's raining and the windows are down. I can't hear that noise. I can't hear that noise. Right. Just pull over here a sec and see if there's actually any code stored on the Haldex. But I can't hear anything. Like, I can't hear that noise. I can hear things, but I can't hear that noise. Let's have a little look. All-wheel drive system. I actually checked the pump using Vagcom yesterday as well, and it was working fine. So right, so one fault. We've got supply voltage B plus, signal too low, 00532. I'm saying that out loud because I can't take a picture of it because I'm using my phone. So I'm going to clear that, close it off. Let's do another round and see if that comes back. Tell you what I'll do, I'll turn the car off, start it again. Let's go for another little round in the yard. Yeah, I don't think I can hear that noise. Does the window work on me? Oh, right. It might just be the switch that's broke on this side. The windows are going up. Might be the controller. And of course I haven't got another one because it's a 5-door. Only 3 doors around here. That's annoying. Right, okay. Engine management lights on. anymore. I can't hear that noise anymore. I think we've solved the Haldex issue. I'm going to do a round just to be certain. Right, let's try and do a circle, full lock. This would be much easier if I had an actual R32 steering rack, by the way. Everyone in the other units are looking at me like I've gone mad. But yeah, that's gone. Maybe it just needed some time for the new oil to get through. Alright, that's full lock, left hand down. I'm going to try full lock, right hand down. And we'll see what happens there. To be fair, that noise is normally in reverse, to be fair. But I've been experiencing it going forward, so that's why I'm going forward, obviously. Getting very used to this DSG in this. It took me a while. But yeah, all I can hear is the steering pump very, very faintly. Which is just how these cars are these days. Right, full up, right hand down. No, can't hear it. Let's try and reverse. Trying to hit anyone's car. Doesn't seem like it's doing it. Ah, listen, I think I'll fix it. It's buzzing. You know what? Maybe that controller was alright all along, and maybe it was just low on oil. Because yeah, some oil did come out of the diff when I tried to fix it yesterday, but not that much. And to say it took the whole of that tube as well. Right, I think we're good. I just want to try left hand down in reverse, but I can't figure out how I need to be parked. Accelerator was a bit not very responsive then. Right, so this is what we need to be doing. So I need to be over here. This is mad. This video is going to be so long. It's going to be me driving in circles and talking rubbish. Right, okay. Just trying to hit none of these cars. I think that's fine. It would have come on by now if that was an issue. Let's have a little look at the fault codes on the Haldex all-wheel drive system. Yeah, no faults, no faults. And that fault anyway might have just been the low battery. Buzzing. I think we've fixed one problem. Yeah, of course we've got a big issue with the chains and whatnot, but that was annoying me. So what I'm gonna do now that I've fixed it is try and brake it. Should we do like a little bit of a launch, not launch, but like stop and then accelerate, and let's see if the all-wheel drive system's actually working, because it wasn't working before. This is where I brake it. Obviously I'm not going to go mental, I haven't got that much room. So traction's on. The traction's on anyway because I've got the traction not on. But let's try that again. It's sport. You know what, I'll put it in manual so it doesn't change gear. Yeah, that's definitely working. That's definitely working. Last time it was spinning up the front wheels. Yeah, it's working. I am buzzing. As you can probably tell, not very often I smile. Try one more little fake launch. Okay, there's a bit of wheel spin there from the front, but these are front wheel bias, so once it detects that the front's slipping, the rear will kick in. So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I'm gonna say that how this is working. I'm gonna say it's working. No horrible grinding noise, was it? Right, so I have been editing this video and I've been putting all the content together, and I can't get this video under, well, much less than 1 hour long, and I've still got so much to do. We've still got to service it. I need to change the steering rack over because someone's put the wrong steering rack in. There's still a lot to do. So what I am gonna do is end the video here and then continue doing what I'm doing, film it, edit another video and put it together for a kind of part 2 sort of thing. So I'm going to try and smash that out and get it out as quick as possible. Today is Thursday, so I'm literally filming this the day that I'm uploading the video, and then hopefully, if I can get all that stuff done that I need to do, I'm going to upload another video on Sunday so they're not too far apart and you all know what is actually going on. So listen, if you've enjoyed this video and if you've got this far in the video, it's definitely worth a subscribe. You've seen the headache that this car has been causing me, but we're very, very close now to getting this car to an MOT station for an MOT. So guys, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and catch me on the next video. See you later. Goodbye.